This podcast is recorded on Gadigal land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. This episode is brought to you by Finder.
From savings accounts and phone plans to insurance, internet and more, why settle for just a good deal when you can get a reward on top? Hey chicks, I'm Sal.
And I'm Al.
And this is Two Broke Chicks, the show that shares life lessons and tips to help make you rich in life. And welcome. In today's episode, we are jumping in your ear holes with a special little bonus episode on the rich in life formula to not overpaying.
Yes. And I'm locked in because there is nothing that I hate more.
Yeah, honestly.
Even by $10.
It gives me the ick for myself.
Nothing grinds my gears more, especially even if it's like buying a dress online and then 2 weeks later it's on sale and I'm like, or just seeing it immediately at the same place and I'm like, I hate myself.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's a pretty universal feeling. So we're going to be sharing some of the common ways that you may be forking out more cash than you need to and some tips and tricks and habit swaps to hopefully save some moolah.
Yeah, these are the ways that you could be overpaying without even realizing.
Scary.
Ooh,
scary
you're
stuff.
overpaying. Sal's actually had a little ghost haunting her recently.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, there was a ghost haunting you to buy a dress that you wanted, wasn't it?
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, buy the real. I was sending Sal texts at like 10 p.m. about 3 times.
Pretending to be the ghost.
Pretending to be a ghost.
Yeah, seriously.
Anytime I want you to do something, I'm just going to haunt you now.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh, it's a ghost again.
ghost.
Come drinking with me.
It works every time.
It does work every time.
I don't want to upset the spirits.
Yeah, no, you can't not do what Ghosty says.
It's true. Okay, but before we get into the episode, as always, a quick reminder that this isn't financial advice and all tips are general, so make sure to do your research, chickies.
Okay, number 1, how you're overpaying? The lazy tax.
That son of a bitch.
That's my God, man, you've done it again. You son of a bitch, you've done it. So some of you may have heard of this already. It definitely does the rounds online. But essentially the lazy tax is the tax that you're paying and a financial penalty, essentially, for complacency, aka the extra money you lose by sticking with the same providers or brands rather than shopping around for a better deal. And absolutely, this is something that I have fallen victim to. I think even the lazy tax can come into fruition by not even double checking or questioning your bills sometimes, because even brands and providers get it wrong. You were overcharged for your electricity by like $1 million one time.
Yep.
And, you know, it took you calling and being like, hey, girl, like this seems kind of wild. And they're like, yeah, that is a mistake. So even like taking that step to be like, I'm going to call and I'm going to be like, what's up with this? Like a lot of people, aka me, would be like, fuck, that's expensive. Oh, well, here you go, paid.
Yeah, and just like cop it on the chin and be like, oh, like the rates must have gone up.
Yeah. Other than that, because obviously that was unlazy. Can you think of a time when you've paid the lazy tax?
Yes, when I was on my parents' health insurance. You know how like your parents pay for your health insurance, but then they take you off. And then so I just stayed.
And they kick you to the curb.
I know. I was like, Dad, that won't hurt. Yeah. He's like, it's for your own good. But yeah, so then I just stayed on that plan for years, maybe like 5 years. And then it was before I was going to get my wisdom teeth and I desperately needed them out. And I realized my health insurance didn't cover it. I was paying for a bunch of stuff that I wasn't using and didn't need and was just like paying way more than I needed to. So then, yeah, did some research and switched over. And then I had to like also do the whole waiting period before I could get my wisdom teeth. So I was like, damn, I wish I'd done this earlier.
Yeah.
But it's a good reminder to like stay on top of that stuff.
I think sometimes now if you switch though, there are some providers that waive the waiting fee. So if you have insurance and you switch insurance, I think now you actually shouldn't get a waiting fee because you've had insurance. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, double check. And like that sometimes I think
and that's a question to ask at least when you're doing it. I think for me, mine was my phone bill, my phone plan, that I'm like, I don't know what I do every month, but I am a data slut. I'm out here using data for this and data for that. I'm a hotspot queen.
Yeah.
You get a hotspot. You get a hotspot. Everybody gets a hotspot.
Yeah, me too, actually.
Yeah, we're very generous with the hotspot.
Wow.
Have you ever met a hotspot stinge?
No, I haven't.
I have. I'm dating one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Robbie's a hotspot stinge, but he doesn't get that much data.
Yeah,
so
that's
if like
smart.
our internet ever goes down at home or there's a storm or something, I'm like, oh, can you hotspot the TV? And he's like, oh, I only have like 10 gigs of data left.
I
And
need
I'm
more
like,
credit.
But yeah, no, but I pay for so much data that I was paying so much. And then anyway, I saw a deal literally with my same provider that I was like, oh, well, let's just switch it up to that. And I
passing
called
it on
him.
to me?
And then he even gave me a better deal because he was like, well, you've been with us for ages. I can even do this and give you 100 gigs more. And I said, you've got a deal.
But yeah, I think that phone plans is definitely a common one. I saw some research that said that the average Australian uses around 14 gigabytes of mobile data each month. But then, I know.
I think I get like 250.
Yeah, we're above average.
Yeah. First time in my life.
Yeah, exactly. Overachiever.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm above average. For
Yeah.
what? Data?
Yeah. But yeah, and in a loyalty tax report, a review of month-to-month mobile plans on Finder showed that at least 14 gigabytes of data found the average cost was around like $42 for that kind of plan. But the average Australian is paying $54 for their mobile plan, which means that the average person is probably forking out more than they need. And yes, $12 a month doesn't sound like much, but that's $144 a year, and it's still that you're paying more than you need to. If it's $1 or if it's $100.
$144 a year that's like a nice din-din.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
It all
and
adds
then,
up.
yeah. And like health insurance.
And like I said at the start of the episode, sorry to interrupt you, I don't want to overpay for anything, even if it's $10.
Yeah, totally. So we've spoken about health insurance, mobile phone plans, but this can apply to so many different utilities. The ACCC also reported that households that had been on the same electricity plan for more than 3 years are on average paying $221 per year more than those that have switched at the end of last year. So how can you save?
So number one, and probably most obviously, is reviewing your utilities and your providers. So like compare your options and switch. There are also a lot of websites that do this for you. So you know how we sit here and we search for like an hour for a valid 20% off code for Dish and none of them work.
Yeah.
And then like take that energy and apply it to your bills, because you might not be buying something online every single month, but you're still putting in that time to get that 20% off code. But you are paying for your bills every month.
So true.
So like change that energy and reapply it to here. So you can do your own research, read reviews, or use comparison sites to compare the options in one place. There are a lot of comparison sites that often have exclusive deals like Finder. They also do rewards. So if, that is an eligible plan that actually does work well for you, you can get like cash back in digital Visa gift cards, as we mentioned in the top of this episode. So I think that's a really good thing to look into. There are also government websites to check energy. There are also websites to check. I was doing this recently because I had the shits about your like internet speed.
Yeah.
And if that matches what your internet speed is supposed to be, and then you tell it like how much you're paying for that, and it'll tell you whether you're overpaying or underpaying, which I was like, yeah, hit me.
Yeah.
And guess what? I was overpaying.
Yeah.
But if you also do like your current provider, like if you're like, no, my electricity works, my internet's good.
Good
I don't
customer service.
Yeah, I don't want to switch. Call them and be like, well, bluff and say I'm leaving. What are you going to do for me, Joe?
Yeah.
And then Joe will give you a deal. They often have like these under the table offers that people don't know about, because you've mentioned this to me before as well, that I thought was such a good point, that it's a lot more expensive to acquire a customer as a company than to keep one. So by offering you a discount, it just makes more sense for them cost-wise.
Yeah.
Do this with the gym as well.
Yeah.
The amount of times I've tried to cancel and they go, all right, we'll knock $10 off. And I'm like, damn it, fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still didn't go.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
But it was only because I had such a good deal and I was like, I'm never going to get that anywhere.
Yeah, the gym is a completely separate lazy tax that a lot of us are paying.
Now, a quick word from our sponsor of today's episode, Finder. A lot of people set and forget their bills, but some eligible deals actually come with cashback rewards too. Finder Rewards has offers across categories like phone, internet, insurance, and more, with cashback available through digital Visa gift cards on certain offers. Finder has already rewarded over $1 million and counting to Aussies.
So not only can you compare offers in one place and potentially save, you could get an extra reward for being smart with your money. Honestly, it's a win-win. As always, this isn't financial advice. Make sure to compare your options, check eligibility criteria, and read terms and conditions before applying. Okay, let's get back into the episode. Okay. Moving on to the next way that you're overpaying, idle savings. Yeah, so idle savings refers to money that's not being invested or is sitting in a low or no interest savings account. So according to Yahoo Finance, between inflation and the rising cost of living, any savings account that earns less than 2 or 3% is quietly losing value over time. I know. So before I learned of this concept of idle savings or, had really learned about investing or like putting your money into superannuation, I had always thought that squirreling away money was a good thing. Did you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, savings.
Right? And I thought that that was always the goal. And I do think that it is a good goal to start with savings. But that's the thing. Like if you have big chunks of money sitting in a savings account that has a low or no interest rate, then because the cost of things is going up, you're losing.
I actually think I'm falling into this bracket.
Yeah, you're losing value.
I need to go change my bank.
Yeah. Okay. So perfect timing then. How can you save? If you want to avoid idle savings and you're also being like, shit, I think this is me, you could consider switching to a high interest savings account. So typically a high interest savings account refers to an account that has an interest rate of 4.5%. 5% or higher. These do change. So that's why I'm saying typically.
Yeah.
It's very important to do your research and see what's competitive on the market at the moment.
Yeah, they can also sometimes have bonus or like intro offers.
Exactly.
So it's like you'll get 5% for the first 6 months and then after that it drops to 3%.
Yeah, that's a good point. And there are also sometimes conditions to access the high interest. So whether it is an introductory offer like you've mentioned and it only lasts for a certain period of time, or there may be conditions like monthly deposit requirements or withdrawal restrictions. So it's very important to see what those are to make sure that they align with your money habits and your goals.
And I think we should also look at an example of how you could save with a high interest savings account.
Let's make this real.
Yeah. So let's say you have $10,000 in savings, just a random number, and you had those savings in an account earning 2.5% per annum. You'd earn around $250 in interest over 12 months. However, if you had that same $10,000 sitting in a savings account earning 5.5% per annum, you'd earn around $550 in interest over the same period. So that means you could earn an extra $300 a year simply by switching to a more competitive savings account. And obviously that number will just go higher the more you have in your savings. So it's a good motivator because you're missing out on opportunity to earn more on your hard work already.
Yeah, exactly. We'll put some resources in the show notes. Moving on to the final way that you're overpaying, grocery creep.
Tell me.
The dogs.
The dogs. The biggest creep of all.
Yeah, exactly. So if you feel like you're spending more money on your groceries, you probably are. So data from the Consumer Price Index shows that prices rose for 24 out of 31 grocery product categories analysed between Feb 2025 and 2026. So this means you're paying about 13% more for beef, lamb and goat. 12% more for coffee and tea.
Vouch for that.
Yeah. 7% more for chocolate and 5% more for ice cream. How upsetting.
These are a few of my favourite things.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like the cost of very common grocery items are slowly but surely rising, that is why it's so important to pay attention to how much you're paying for certain items and maybe be a little bit more mindful when we're doing our supermarket shopping.
Shopping at the grocery store is still a lot more affordable than, getting takeaway every night. What I was kind of doing is like, buying the same like dinners to have every week. And I would notice like, how it would be more expensive one week versus more expensive the other week.
Yeah.
So I think if we're looking at how we can save, it's about being a little bit more flexible in the way that we're shopping our groceries. So shopping strategically, one, to avoid food wastage. Research shows that Australians waste $1,500 on food wastage every year.
Yeah, per family.
Per family. So $1,500.
That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
I saw this app called Saveful, and you can pop in the different items that you've bought and the date that you've bought it, and then it gives you notifications on when your food is about to expire. It also gives you recipes based on the items that you've got in there and suggestions.
Love that.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. And I think it also shows you how much you've potentially saved by using your groceries as well. And then also the food wastage that you've avoided as well. So whether your goal...
So it calculates your savings as well.
Yeah. So whether you're motivated by saving money or trying to be more sustainable and avoid food wastage or both, like you also get that little dopamine hit of how you're tracking.
Love that. I'm going to download that. Okay. Your next one is to store the food correctly. So store onions and potatoes separately, revive wilted veggies in cold water, cut off or throw away bruised parts of the food, and also like embrace a little bit of the frozen section a bit more, I think. That's what I've been doing more in my grocery shopping. Like I batch create a meal or a sauce, like chuck that in the freezer, get the frozen veggies.
Yep.
They're just as good. But Claire Bates, who is also Nutrition Foodition on IG, is a sports dietitian who shares weekly specials worth building your meals around this week, which is a great source of inspo for easy budget recipes. But do you have any hacks that you use to save on groceries each week?
Sometimes I go to the shops late at night when they're going to discount
Under
the items.
the cover of darkness.
Yeah.
Right.
So like after the gym or something, I'll go and be like, because that's when they put discounts on like the milk and the bread.
Love that.
Yeah. Also buying food seasonally too. So you know how you were saying like you'll shop for the same kind of meals all year round and then you notice that the prices fluctuate. If it's out of season, it's going to be more expensive. And like paying attention to stuff like that is another way that I try and save.
Yeah. For me, I love the Odd Bunch.
I love the Odd Bunch. They taste just as good.
It's literally, so if you don't know what the Odd Bunch is, the Odd Bunch is like a bag of just like wonky carrots or lemons that were a little bit too small. It's basically the produce that like doesn't meet pretty girl standards.
Not there being beauty standards in the fruit and veg section.
Beauty standards for veggies, but they're just cheaper. Because they're a little bit different. A little bit cute.
And I feel bad for them too, the empath in me. I'm like,
know.
I got a good home
I love
for
the
you.
Odd Bunch.
Me too.
We'd be in the Odd Bunch if we were veggies.
1000%.
1000%. And then my other one is not necessarily like a savings hack in terms of dollars of what you save when you shop groceries, but it's more in terms of value that like I exclusively shop my weekly groceries to where I earn my points. And my rewards points. It's wherever you want to shop. Like I don't mind whichever points one you want to choose. You choose whatever works for you.
Yeah.
I have been doing Velocity Frequent Flyers. Love it. Obsessed with it. And we've also worked with them for like the last couple of years. But like I'm on that train regardless.
Yeah.
You know, I love it. And that's like my biggest habit that I've developed in my grocery shopping because it might not save me money necessarily like right then in that moment. But it does save me a lot of money in the future when I'm going to book flights.
Yeah, I love that. So that's the thing. It's just being a little bit more strategic and rather than kind of like taking it for granted, just doing the same old, same old. Well, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chickies, for having us in your ear holes. We love to be here.
Bye, chicks.
Bye.
Thanks again to Finder for making this episode of Two Broke Chicks possible.
If you want to compare deals and browse Finder rewards cashback offers you can't get anywhere else, hit the link in the show notes.